Hello and welcome to Thriving in Business with myself, Kirsty Waite. And as normal, I'm going to come and spend the next 15-20 minutes with you to share business tips, inspiration, and just general business chat, all about how to help you become more intentional about creating a profitable business that feels good. And today, I'm joined by the lovely guest, Kim Uzzell. So Kim's coming to share with us today about how she decided to leave her career at Barclays to become a wealth empowerment coach and mentor. So welcome, Kim.
Thank you very much. Thank you for asking me.
You're very welcome. And I'm really excited to hear all about it because I can relate very much to your story myself. And I'm sure everyone listening will be able to take something away from it. So do you want to just briefly explain to people what you currently do now and what you used to do?
So I have just left a 30-year career in wealth management. I started off as a trust administrator for a law firm and then moved into traditional stockbroking, where I stayed for many, many years. I took a brief break to do some coaching full time about 15 years ago before being lured back into the industry. And then I ended up working for Barclays in their wealth team, which was great. You know, I'm not going to say that it wasn't, because it absolutely was in so many ways. But I got to that point a few months ago, really, where I decided that I needed, if I was going to make that move, I needed to do it. And so I did. And I've become the coach that I've always been hiding. I am working with women to get them confident around their money, to get them in a position where they can invest with people like I used to be while I was a stockbroker and a wealth manager. I just want to be able to reach more than I could ever do within the confines of any of those employed roles. So here I am, and loving every minute of it.
Oh, fantastic. And well done for making that move. So when we talk about thriving in business, and obviously you're now on this amazing business journey, what does that mean for you? Because now you get to choose, right? Like you get to decide what that looks like. So what does thriving in business mean to you?
Well, like I mentioned before, I did have a go at this on a full-time basis many years ago. So I had that taste of having a coaching business, a successful coaching business, which I ran from a log cabin at the bottom of my garden, and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it didn't work in that thriving way for me at that time, because everything else was wrong. I still had to work around the children and all of their activities. I was in a marriage that was really quite unhappy at that time. We had lots and lots of things that were going on in life. And so although I thoroughly enjoyed what I was doing, I didn't feel that it was allowing me to thrive in the way that I wanted it to. And ultimately, when you are a coach, when you're doing anything that involves empathy and working with other people's feelings and that sort of thing, if you're not in that space yourself, it's not going to work well. So that's why I called it a day and went back into the industry that I previously knew. Now I feel that it's my time to thrive. My children are grown up and have left home. I've remarried, and I'm married to the most amazing supportive man, and it's just us, me and him and the crazy cocker spaniel who is sat by my feet. And so we've got the ability to make life work for us. And that's the beauty of it. We haven't got to worry about other people's stresses so much. We are able to enjoy it ourselves. And that's really liberating, not having to fit around other people's timescales in the same way, or other people's toxicity in the same way. Life is there for grabbing, and we are now in a position to be able to do that. And boy, does it feel good. So
yeah, I love that. I love it. And I love hearing the stories of when people have gone through that journey. So if looking out from outside in, you've left this high-flying, very successful corporate career. What was the trigger that pushed you to the edge to make that decision to leave?
I think COVID had a lot to do with it. I loved my career in wealth management, particularly with Barclays. Speaking to the clients in their own homes, in their own workplaces, on their farms, entertaining those clients, taking them to have experiences. The corporate entertaining bit was great, and we really got to enjoy our time with our clients, and we worked hard to compensate for the playing hard and the entertainment side of it. But I loved that balance, and I loved the fact that they always included my husband in anything. So it wasn't just me always taking myself away from home to work. It was us, and so we could enjoy my career fully, and we did. And then COVID hit, no fault of the banks, we all got sent home. And that was it. Everything became remote, and we all know now that things like this would not have happened a couple of years ago. We all had to return to or create this new normal, speaking to our clients on the internet, sitting at our home office desk. Now, I'm very lucky. This is my office. I have space to work, but I still felt that I was being very contained compared with the freedom that we had and the ability to get out there before. And that was never really going to return in the same way. Again, no fault of the bank, no fault of the industry, no fault of anybody's. It's just the way that the world has now changed. And I got to that point that I was realizing the things that I was missing. So I had to come up with a way of getting those things back, and ultimately that meant creating them for myself. And alongside that, I got ill. So about a year ago, I started developing chest pains. I started having breathing difficulties, and so with that came all the tests, the concerns, and I lost my dad at an age that's similar to the age that I am now. And so I have that reminder that life's too short. So the combination of those two things really just led me ultimately to say, if you're going to do it,
why not now?
Go and do it. If you're not, then make the best of what you are doing and don't complain about it.
Because if we're not going to take responsibility and do something about it, we've got to just, like you say, make the best of it. But sitting when you're in the camp of, I don't know which camp I'm in, because I'm sat in this one, but really looking to want this one, but not willing to do anything to make that move, yourself, you just feel unhappy and miserable because you're constantly going, is that what I want? So
absolutely.
So making that, taking responsibility and making that decision is such a key step, isn't it?
It is, but when the light bulb suddenly goes off and you say, actually, do you know what, I can do this. For me, I knew that I'd done it for 3 years, 15 years ago. So I knew that I could do it. I also knew that the world had changed an awful lot in those 15 years. But I had that knowledge that if only I'd continued doing it the first time round, I would be a coach that's right up here rather than a coach that's newly starting out again. But I didn't. I can't turn the clock back. But what I can do is take that knowledge that I enjoyed it last time. I was, I really did want to make more of it last time. Unfortunately, circumstances didn't enable me to, or perhaps I wasn't brave enough to push through. Maybe I'll never know. But I can do it. And once I reminded myself that I could do it, it became quite an obvious answer for me. It was just clear that now was my time to step into that again, but to do it with a whole different set of circumstances around me and expectations of what's to come.
And when we come into alignment like that and the light bulb comes on, you can't resist that pull, can you? It just, this is what I'm meant to be doing and this is when I'm meant to be doing it. And that you can't, back 15 years ago, it obviously wasn't the right time for you for whatever reason. And that's okay, because that 15 years of knowledge that you've got at Barclays, you're going to utilize in your business and it's going to propel your business. So it wasn't the right time for a reason. Whereas now you're like, this is right and this feels good, I'm going to step into it. I love that.
Absolutely.
So
all the ducks in a row.
So let's talk about the kind of coach and mentor you're going to be. So share with me a little bit more about exactly what it is and who you help.
So I particularly want to work with women. I do have some male clients, so I'm not, pushing them aside, because if they're there and they need, my help in particular, then I'm perfectly happy to give that. But I market myself as a coach for women, because I think in financial services and in financial confidence, we are still so far behind the curve that we need to catch up, and we don't always know how to do that. So I know that financial services industry, particularly the stockbroking, the old-fashioned traditional elements of it, are very heavily male dominated. That is something that is changing slowly, but it is a slow process. The bank is much better at creating opportunities for women. So I'm very pleased that I was able to be part of that, because it's the first time in my financial services career that I saw that real equality potential there. So it is happening, but it's only in small pockets. And so the majority of advisors are men. The way in which male and females think about money is very different. Women have a different emotional attachment to it. Men have a different expectation of what they're going to do with their wealth. And we do end up with this misalignment. Women are earning more. They are inheriting more. They are building businesses of their own very successfully in so many ways, and then creating more wealth. But then they don't know what to do with it. They don't have that confidence to actually keep making that money work hard for them. And when they go into a financial services environment, quite often then they're met with somebody who, not intentionally, but doesn't have that same understanding of where the client is coming from. So I want to get out there and encourage women to ask themselves, what am I doing with my money? I've worked hard for it. What am I doing with it now? Am I giving it all away unnecessarily? Am I still trying to please other people? Or am I just afraid of stepping into this? Do I know what questions to ask? And if I don't, how am I going to get over this? So I want to reach all of those women and to encourage them to take control of their money, to build their confidence, really, to making that money work harder for them on an ongoing basis. I'm not advising them what to do with their money anymore. I'm not an investment advisor. You can see the dog just behind me. Joys of working from home. Somebody's obviously walked past the window. I'm not there to advise them on their investments anymore, but I want to be able to get them to the point that when they do invest, it's with confidence. And not with fear, and not just because somebody else has told them that they should.
It's really interesting because there's so much attached to money, isn't there? Like you mentioned before, emotion, but there's also beliefs and limiting beliefs and the experiences that women have had. It's so interesting, and there's such a need for what you're trying to do. And I think bringing more coaches in like you with your knowledge and experience is just going to be amazing for the female entrepreneurs, because I think even when I work with my clients, money mindset is such a key topic, and it always comes up. And at every stage of your business, you go through these different emotions and feelings and thoughts about money. And so having a dedicated person to help you with that, I can imagine just being so helpful.
And the gaps are really huge. Sorry, just butted in there, but the numbers are phenomenal. There's an amazing lady called Emma Clayton who's done a huge amount of work on the gap between what self-employed women charge for their services and earn, and what self-employed men charge for their services, similar services. And that gap is a whopping 43%.
Wow.
Oh, so my goodness. We've got all the entrepreneurial skills, we've got all the desire to do well, but for some reason we are holding ourselves back as businesswomen and allowing the delay in the invoice to be paid, or we'll say, oh, we'll sort something out later, or when that money conversation comes up, we tend to shy away from it a little bit. Whereas the man doing the same job is that, here's what it's going to cost, here's the terms, here's the invoice, you've got 14 days to pay it. We're less likely to be so forthright, and we're much more willing to, wanting to please by saying, oh, we'll sort the money out later. We can talk about that later, and then we don't do it, and we're doing ourselves a massive disservice. But 43% is the gap. Forget the gender pay gap. That's only around 15 to 16% now in employed work. We are creating this gap as women. It's nobody's telling us what to charge. We are telling ourselves.
We choosing that.
43%.
Wow. So is that the mission, Kim? Is that what you're working on? Is that what you want to reduce?
I want to reduce all of these gaps. I want to make it easier for women to understand that they can go out and earn more, that there is nothing wrong with going out and earning more, that there is nothing wrong with wanting more money, wherever you've come from, whatever you've been taught in the past. It's not going to make you look greedy. It's not going to make you look selfish. In fact, the more that you've got, the more that you can do in the future, the more people you can help. It's not all about the money, it's about the impact and the ripple effect of all of those people that you can help in the future. And that's really exciting. That really does excite me. But along the way, if we're not earning that much money, if we're not earning our potential or what we should be earning or what our male colleagues are earning, we're not investing that money. We're not investing for our future. So the pension gap between men and women is also about 40%. And it's not difficult to see why. So we need to bridge all of these gaps. We need to close them one way or another. So the wealth gap, the investment gap, the pay gap, the self-employed pay gap, all of those things need to be closed in. But until women understand that they need to and believe that they can do, we've got a bit of a fight on our hands. So talking about it and encouraging women to just believe in themselves and understand that they're not going to look greedy, and that in fact they are going to look pretty phenomenal in the process.
Absolutely.
Is what I'm all about.
So as you're creating your business, so thinking about kind of thriving, what are your value? How are you going to make sure that those values are implemented in your day-to-day? Like, what are your values going forward as you're going to implement your business?
So the key things that really sit with me are, and it won't come as any surprise that freedom is one of them, because it is for most of us who've made that move from one to the other. But even just this morning, I was able to quickly change out of my work shirt and stick a big thick sweatshirt on and my rain mac on and take the dog out for a walk, just because there was that window of opportunity when the rain stopped. And for me, just being able to do little things like that is really powerful, and having that flexibility to allow yourself to enjoy that freedom. It was a dog walk for half an hour in the rain, nothing more, but for me it was so much more. And if I can encourage that level of well-being in other people on a monetary basis and on all sorts of other levels, then that really sits well with me. But one of my other main values, one of my other core values is courage. It's having the courage to go and do things, having the courage to ask for help, having the courage to try new things. And that, when you're setting up any business, is vital, because there's a whole lot of fear and trepidation involved in leaving something safe like a corporate career, or relatively safe like a corporate career behind you, and taking responsibility and trusting yourself to be able to do this. And so having that strength and courage
Yeah.
is a real value of mine. And if I can give that strength and courage to other women
Yeah.
to take themselves forward in their own money journeys,
Yeah.
then I will dance a very happy dance.
And that's what makes us feel fulfilled, isn't it? And I think that's what brings joy and fulfillment and alignment to our day-to-day business. And that's what I'm here for it all day, like that alignment. I love it. So if you were to give one piece of advice to your younger self or to someone that's listening that's in the same position, what would that advice be sitting in your shoes today?
Advice to my younger self would be, you are absolutely worth it. Don't let anybody ever tell you that you are not good enough.
Yeah.
Or that the school that you went to or the place that you grew up in is not worthy of a successful career, whatever that career may be.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a lot of that surrounded me and many women of my age, back in the 70s and the 80s, as we were growing up. That would have been a really big, valuable lesson for me.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I just also want to say is that when you are talking about money, talk about it just really positively. Because again, I definitely heard a lot of negative things about money when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I took all of those on board. So to my younger self, I would want to say, don't listen to the negative stuff.
Yeah.
Push it away immediately.
Yeah.
It's not relevant.
Yeah.
It's not relevant. It's not
Yeah.
that easy, unfortunately, but if I could change that and banish the negativity about money talk when I was growing up, I would love to be able to do that. What I can do, though, is encourage my children and my grandchildren when they arrive on the scene to think about money in a different way by talking positively.
Yeah. But helping women change the narrative is helping that generation, isn't it? Because they're going to hear a lot more positivity around money as well.
Yeah. It's very easy to get caught up in the negative because we've heard it for so many years.
It's ingrained.
It is. Yeah. But we can change it. That's the beauty of it. We can, and it's exciting when it happens, and to see the shift in people as it does, and the confidence as it builds is just amazing. And I absolutely love this.
And that's exactly what you're going to do to help women change that narrative. I love it. And when you said what the first thing you said when I said, what would you tell you yourself? You was like, that you're worth it. And I think that's so key, isn't it? If everyone, you're worth it, you're worth that charging that, you're worth doing that, you're worth paying for that. You're worth it. Full stop. That's it.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Kim. Would you like to share with people where they can come and find you and find out more about what you do and how you can help?
Thank you very much for chatting to me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. So obviously I'm on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn. Kim Uzzell is my name. I also have a website, which is mymoneymovement.co.uk, and you can find out a little bit more about me and my journey and all the ways in which I help women and people generally. So they would be the first two places that I would suggest. Go and find me. Drop me a message, send me a message or an email, and I would be absolutely delighted to talk about how we can make the world a better place in terms of our relationship with money generally.
Absolutely. Well, good luck on your journey, Kim, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.